Arsenal's attack might just be unstoppable this season. And yesterday evening, they gave us a preview of the kind of chaos they can cause. Welcome back to All About Arsenal. Yesterday, we had a chance to watch our final preseason game of this campaign with the Emirates Cup against Athletic Bilbao, or Athletic Club as they are called in Spain. Arsenal went into this game in patchy form. They had played 4 preseason games prior to this match, winning 2 and losing 2. But this was the final test ahead of the clash against Manchester United in Old Trafford next weekend. After 90 minutes of play, Arsenal ended up winning with 3-0. They also had a novelty penalty shootout at the end of the game, but Arsenal also won 6-5. So I'll give you a quick match recap, my thoughts on Arteta's tactics, and of course, I'll take some questions at the end. So the first standout discussion would be about Viktor Gyökeres. This was a game that I needed him to start, and this was a game that he really showed how good he is. Viktor Gyökeres needed to play alongside Martinelli and Saka with our first choice midfield behind him. When Arsenal played against Villarreal, Gyökeres started the game, no doubt, but it was Mikel Merino, Ethan Nwaneri, and Christian Nogard that played as a midfield 3. But in yesterday evening's game, Arsenal used like a very strong XI with the likes of Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Zubimendi, providing the support for Viktor Gyökeres, Gabi Martinelli, and Bukayo Saka. Gyökeres had a wonderful game. He was outstanding, showed his great movement, fired a lot of shots, hit the posts. It was like an all-round game that everybody would have been very pleased to see him do. His first real attempt came when a chance was fashioned for him from Bukayo Saka, but he didn't take the shot well. I think he kind of shot it on his leg or something, but the connection wasn't as fierce as we would expect from a player like Gyökeres. So Unai Simon in the Bilbao goal, made a routine save. However, Gyökeres scored his first Arsenal goal with his head. And come to think of it, among the 97 goals he scored for Sporting CP in 2 seasons with them, only 5 were with his head. And in his first Arsenal goal, he used his head. It was a set play from Rice crossing the corner into the danger area. And after the ball was turned over, Zubimendi flicked a brilliant cross into the box. And before the defender could even react, Gyökeres was ahead of him and he just lowered the ball into the goal. And the Emirates went into raptures. We want this man to do very well. And we're so happy that he has scored. This is a massive lift to his confidence, especially ahead of the game against Man in Old Trafford, where he will need to be at his very best. In the second half, he also hit the bar when he latched onto a non-Madueke cross. It was a low cross, and he went a bit down. And he connected well with the ball, but it was the goal post that saved the keeper's blushes. That had been a brace with his head, and obviously the headlines would have been something else. So the point headlines. But there was also a time when he also turned from scorer to creator, when went on the edge of the byline, cut back to Calafiori, but his shot went over. So what we're seeing here, Gyökeres had an all-action game. I'm very proud of the way he played, and I'm happy that this is a game that's going to lift his confidence ahead of Arsenal's competitive game going into the season. He desperately wanted to come to this club. He did all he could from his own end to make it happen. Now he's getting the games he needs, which can really lead to more goals for the club. His record in Sporting CP and Sweden was, I think, 114 goals, 137 games. I can't remember, but something really good like that. But what is key here is that Gyökeres is someone that is hungry for goals, someone that's going to finish most of the chances we get across to him. In just 3 big chances he had or so, 1 hit the post, 1 entered the net, and the keeper saved 1. That's the kind of efficiency that we have lacked for quite a while at Arsenal, and I'm so happy that we have Gyökeres. He's going to be someone that is going to do so well for us. And yes, our star boy is back. Bukayo Saka had a stormer. He was undoubtedly the man of the match. The guy cooked that left back. Oh my god. Like times and times and times without number. He made mincemeat of the defender. Cutting in, taking him out, cut back. Cutting in, taking him out, shot. Like, I'm so happy for the goal he scored. Of all the ways to score, it was a kind of a very easy goal. A lob ball from Rice. And Martinelli reacted first before Unai Simon could get it. But Martinelli, noticing that Saka was free, he chose the unselfish option to feed it to Saka's direction, who side-footed the ball home. More greedy players would have probably decided to shoot the ball themselves. But obviously, Arsenal is a team that is focused on, Arsenal is a club that is focused on teamwork. It was good to see Martinelli, give him an assist. And Martinelli is someone that's already been under scrutiny by the fans as well. It was good to see him have a good game. This preseason, he has not really lit any fireworks. But Saka's was just outstanding in every sense of the word. Times and times and times that number, he continued to make life a living hell for the left back. The name of Berchichi or something. And he connected well with Timber. Even when White came, he connected well with White. He just showed why he's Arsenal's talisman, pretty much. Yes, Gyökeres will grow to become to talismanic status in the near future. But right now, Saka remains the dude. And he was outstanding. Kai Havertz, this is what we wanted. Basically, a player that will come in and fight with you for your place in the team. And when you are given a chance to also strut your stuff, you turn up. Pretty much. That's what we expect from him. Kai Havertz has grown leaps and bounds. He's no longer that lanky lad that came from Chelsea that was bereft of confidence when he joined the club. But as he continued to play consistency and as he found a new attacking bet, playing as Arsenal's number 9 instead of left 8 that he was signed for, the goals also came. He was Arsenal's top goal scorer last season. He was Arsenal's top goaler 2 seasons ago as well, and he has done so well since he joined the club. He has bulked up a bit too, and that came into the fore when they gave him that through ball. He managed to use that strength to, hold off his marker before side putting the ball home. That was a brilliant goal, and it just shows what Gyökeres is going to enjoy as well in the team. There'll be time when we'll have those transition plays where we'll just have a nice pass into space that will allow the striker, to basically bear down on goal. And all that will be left to the level of finishing that he has. And obviously, Kai Havertz did so well, coming in as a sub for Gyökeres. And this might just be the theme this season. There might be some games he would start. There'll be some games like Gyökeres will start. There might also be some games they will play together. Obviously, we just have to see how it goes. Arteta has promised us unpredictability. And I guess that's what we're seeing right now. And what was more important is the quality of the bench. So Kai Havertz coming in for Gyökeres was a welcome move. And it was good to see him score a good goal as well. So that just bodes well for the team. Everyone is fighting hard, to hold down a starting berth, and that's how we want it to be at Arsenal. So what are my key tactical observations? First things first, I think this formation that we used with the players that we also used were basically Arteta's squad for Manchester United. Maybe with the exception of Lewis Kelly and Calafiori, which I'm sure he's going to figure that out. But the squad we saw was the squad we expected to see. Raya in goal, Timber, who I agree should be ahead of Ben White right now. Of course, there's no stopping Saliba and Gabriel. But I expected to see my Lewis Kelly start, but obviously he tried Calafiori instead. The midfield three, Zubimendi at the base, Declan Rice at the left 8, Martin Odegaard at the right 8, and of course Viktor Gyökeres in attack with Martinelli and Bukayo Saka on the other wing. We haven't signed Eze yet, so obviously we still have to keep using Martinelli on the left, but that was a very strong XI, and you could see the quality that shone through with the guys that came to the pitch. They did very well, worked hard for each other, and the goals were beautiful. Another observation I liked was the fact that that made some very interesting changes in the second half. Starting with Noni Madueke getting a full run out from halftime to the end as a left winger. Arteta promised us unpredictability, and that's what we saw. Madueke roasted the right back of Bilbao a couple of times. And one key thing was that he played as an out-and-out winger. He just kept on crossing and crossing and crossing with different variations. And I really loved it because his crosses were very accurate. There was also a cross that was found by the head of Gyökeres, but he hit the post. That had been an assist for Madueke. So you can see the take-ons he kept on doing. Obviously, Martinelli also beats that right back as well when he played in the first half. But Madueke came and gave us that diversity we've been looking for in attack, and I really love that about him. Obviously he can also do very well on the right playing for Saka, but Saka is always a 90-minute man. So if it means Madueke taking Martinelli's spot on the left, that's going to be an interesting question. But I'm very happy about that. Zubimendi, I don't know what to say about that guy, man. That guy was awesome. We've always known him as a very brilliant footballer, and we got a glimpse of it, yesterday. He's someone that is going to be very instrumental to our team, the way we play, the way we transition. He gives us a whole lot more than Partey used to do, you know. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so let's go to player ratings. David Raya gets a 7. He had a decent game. There's even one-on-one. That's I think we had a pass that was cut off in the edge of the box, which was very dangerous. But Raya responded very well to make a good save. In defense, Calafiori, the ball that he sent over the bar, he didn't really influence the game as much as I would have liked. So I'm giving him a 6. Gabriel and Saliba were imperious as expected. Both get a 7. Timber did very well to support the attack on the right hand side, so he gets a 7 from me. In midfield, Declan Rice gets a 7. Continuous, all out action, continuous covering of space, every blade of grass. Declan Rice is just a monster with a mighty engine. Odegaard gets a 6 for me. He didn't really turn up in this game. There was one cute pass he gave early in the first half, but he didn't influence as much as I would expect from a game like this, where Arsenal was totally dominant. So Mendy gets an 8. Oh my God, he was amazing. He was exemplary. His passing was beautiful, and of course, he had an assist to match. So obviously, that's a 8/10 performance. In attack, Martinelli gets a 7. It was one of his better games. He kind of took on the left back, the right back quite a lot, and he had some successful take-ons. Had a couple of crosses. But I think there was one time he didn't like what he did, where he had a chance and he just shot the ball wide. When if I looked up to see how he could fit Gyökeres, this is something that hasn't still stopped him always looking down like, I don't know, he's the only one on the pitch or something. But he will improve. But I don't know, man. I just feel that at this point in time, that for me, that left wing is looking like a weak link for us. And whatever we need to do to get Iberichi to the team, I think we need to expedite that. I don't know. I'm not confident going into the season with Martinelli. Very fair, I know he can be very inconsistent when he wants to be. But for yesterday's game, he gets a 7. Gyökeres gets an 8. It was an amazing attacking display from him. Harried defenders, fired some very key shots, made some key chances as well. Scored a goal, almost had an assist for Calafiori, hit the post. It was like an all-action game for him, and he gets an 8 from me. The man of the match, undoubtedly, was Saka, who gets a 9. He was amazing throughout the entire game. Scored a well-taken goal. Deleted the defender many times. Like, I'm sure the defender should be looking for him after the game was gone, just to be sure that, his mental state is okay. Saka was amazing in that game. As for the subs, Ben White gets a 7. He actually did very well to attack on the right, just like what Timber did. So that's going to be another interesting battle this season. Since he came from Brighton for £50 million, he has been a pressing regular. But when he had that surgery and lost his place in the team to Timber, it's clear to see that he has a lot of work to do to get his place back. And he can only do well for the team, seeing two of them play the way they did. Muskera gets a 7, came in for Gabriel and just slotted in like, a knife through hot butter. He's basically like our new Tomiyasu. Muskera can play as a right back, he can play as a right centre back, can play as a left centre back. And what he did in the pitch was with minimal force. I love his frame, his height. I love how domineering he can be, and I love how he always wants to receive the ball and do something meaningful with it. MLS gets a 6. He was just getting himself embroiled with a fight with some guy in the team, like a opposition player. I know he tackled the guy first, and the guy wasn't happy about that tackle. The guy now managed to get his revenge back on Lewis Kelly, and he wasn't focused as far as I'm concerned. He still did okay, but his temperament got the best of him in this match. And obviously, this is just a preseason game. If you play against more experienced players in the league, they'll just beat him into getting 2 yellow cards. And of course, he has gotten red cards already for us. One that was against Wolves that was obviously rescinded because Michael Oliver decided to be a prima donna that day. But there was a legit red card he got against West Ham in the game we lost at home to West Ham. And even when we played PSV, was it PSV or Nottingham? The team we played that I think I had to sub in to protect him. So Lewis Kelly is young. He just signed a new contract. He has so much to offer. I really love him, but he needs to really get on the mental side well. There's some games where he allows it to the occasion to overcome him. And I understand he's a hill end lad true and true, but there are games we need to keep a cool head, and he doesn't look like someone that has a cool head on him. Madueke gets his 7. It was a very, very interesting game for him. Played as a left winger, made a lot of take-ons, made mincemeat of the right back, and he made a lot of amazing crosses that actually, would have, caused more damage. One would have gotten his mark if Gyökeres had the ball into the net. But it was good to see that, okay, that alternative exists. Where Martinelli and Trossard are stinking up the entire place, you can deploy Madueke on that flank, who will give us more directness. And obviously, he loves to shoot as well. So it's something I'm looking forward to. Havertz gets an 8 from me. He had a very strong game. Coming in as a sub for Gyökeres, had his own pressure that it brought for him, but he showed some good resilience and did very well. And I really loved the goal he scored. His strength was on show. He didn't allow the defender to bully him, and of course, he took his chance well and executed it. I really love that about him. Before I end today's video, we just have a quick Q&A session. There were just 2 questions that were sent from me via WhatsApp. So this is from Chooks. How did Noni Madueke play? Do you see him benching Martinelli? Of course I do. Martinelli is someone that has kind of lost his spark in the team. And after the 2023 season where he scored 15 goals, a whole lot more was expected of him. But in the last 2 campaigns, Martinelli has not been up to scratch. He has had so many games to try and, strut his stuff. Arteta has placed massive trust in him, but he hasn't delivered, in all honesty. And if Madueke comes into the team and starts playing exceptionally well, scoring goals, creating assists on the left wing, if we don't eventually get easy, then maybe we might just have to stick with him. I really want us to get easy, no doubt. But with the talk saying that I need to sell before signing, and you know how terrible we are with sales, it's going to be interesting to see how this it pans out. The season is about to start, but the summer transfer window doesn't end till the 1st of September. So you can potentially still get easy even when I've won 2-3 games into the Premier League. So does he have what it takes to bench Martinelli? I think the answer is yes. Then this is more like a comment rather than a question from Kelechi. Kelechi, is based in England, and he actually went to watch this game. In an Arsenal WhatsApp group, he uploaded a picture of himself and in the stands, and so he obviously had a very, very first-hand glimpse of the game, which led him to ask this question, which led him to drop this comment. Odegaard needs to realize that it's a new season and personnel who are more progressive, so he doesn't need to keep dropping deep. This was one of the pet peeves I had with Odegaard, but then again, it was more of a case of the fact that Partey was terrible in transition and progressing play. But you have a player like Zubimendi now who is excellent in progressing play. So Odegaard needs to do his business further up the pitch rather than dropping deep. Yeah, this is a trait that he likes. As a captain, he wants to get the ball, he wants to try and make something work and stuff like that. But in a game when we are dominating like this, we don't need him to come deep. We need him to stay up there and just continue to do his stuff on the right alongside Bukayo Saka. But you can't really teach an old dog new tricks. I'm just hoping that our manager will give him the instructions to ensure that he stays in the attacking third rather than dropping deep. So this was the final marker ahead of the game against Man in Old Trafford, and Arsenal's attack looks very good. Bukayo Saka was amazing. I'm just imagining him playing against Dogo in that wing. It will be whitewash. Oh my god. Martinelli has his own days, but I'm just hoping that he can, step up. If not, Madueke will take his place. And of course, Gyökeres, he scored a goal. It's going to be very interesting, that game week 1 against Manchester United. We wanted Shesko. We got Gyökeres. Now, Man has gotten Shesko. So it's just going to be interesting to see how, both strikers fare for their team. So in terms of any improvements, I think it's just the left wing. Martinelli has to step up. Odegaard too has to step up. He got a 6 from me in the player ratings. I know he has his days, but this is a season that we need him to be in his absolute best. and hopefully we'll get that from him. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like and also subscribe so you will not miss any more Arsenal content that I do. Until then, come on, you Gunners.